Welcome to Raider Talks. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. And before we get started, hit that subscribe button down below for Raider content all season long. Welcome to our Raider Talks game preview. We have a big matchup for the Raiders. Raiders versus Texans in Las Vegas. Nick, how are you feeling about this ball game?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was pumped up Monday, beginning Raider week again because of the bye week last week. And ready to get the season really starting to go. We just did our prediction episode, and we got some big expectations for these Raiders. And it starts Sunday in Vegas against Houston. Both teams are coming off of a bye. They're refreshed, regrouped, and ready to put some wins on the board. And hopefully we come out ready to play.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Going to be fun. Texans, Raiders. Texans are 1-3-1. Mm-hmm. Raiders are 1-4. I think the Raiders are a better team, though, despite what the record says. And I think the Raiders should beat them up pretty good.
Yeah, I think roster-wise, I think ranking-wise, where our offense ranks, their defense ranks, where their offense and defense ranks, I think we're just a whole better team. We are a favorite this game. That ESPN FPI has us, I think, at like 80 or 82%. This is the one that we should get done. We're at home. Let's go take care of business. You look at their offense and defense, their 30th offense, 31 defense. They're really in the bottom, and they're struggling. We got to take advantage of that and, kind of get the ball rolling, and this is a great week to do it. I know a rookie corner might be on Devontae. Their defense struggles at times. They give up a whole bunch of yards. Not that many points. They give up 19.8 points, but they give up a whole bunch of yards. Let's take advantage of that and really have a field day against these guys.
The Texans have a below-average offense, below-average defense, like you said. Mm-hmm. And talent-wise, roster-wise, on offense, not really anybody. On defense, not really anybody. And you look at the Raiders side, and there's a lot of pieces. Yeah. You got Rocky Stan, who's one of the best corners in football this year. You got Max Crosby.
Yeah.
He's been an animal this year. Looks like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Denzel Perryman has been great all year long. And there's more pieces also, but just talent-wise on defense look great. And on the offensive side of the ball, Derek Carr. You got Devontae Adams. You got Josh Jacobs, who's running like a top 3 runner in football this year. He is a top 3 runner in football this year so far. You got Hunter Renfrow. Mm-hmm. You got maybe Darren Waller comes back. We'll see. Foster Moreau is practicing. This is a very talented Raider team on both sides of the ball, way more talented than this Texans team. So the Raiders really need to get this win, and this is a must win in Las Vegas. This could be a trap game type. Well, it's not really a trap game because it's not like we're playing good, and this is the trap game. But Texans aren't a good football team. We need to win this. Sometimes Raiders tend to lose these games.
Yeah, you need to go out there and take care of business. You're favored for a reason. Your roster-wise on paper, you are way better than this team. And offensively, defensively rankings, we just got into it. You're way better. Go out and do this thing. In past, we're 7-point favorites and whatever. We sit there and we're down 14-0 like that, and they never look back. Let's go out here, take care of business, do what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to win this game, get this ball rolling for the rest of the season. This is a very good game coming off of a bye. Usually we have the Chiefs coming off of a bye, or a really good team coming off of a bye. This is something to get our feet wet a little bit. Hey, everybody should win their matchup. And, if you're not playing well, this is the game to step up and play well just because of the lackluster roster that they have. But, let's go out here and do our thing.
This is a game where we really can show that we could beat the teams we're supposed to beat. Because, the first 5 games was a little bit of a gauntlet. You had the Chargers, who's always a tough, always a tough matchup. You got the Cardinals, which were up 20. We should probably beat them. But at the end of the day, they were a playoff team last year. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball also. Then you got the Titans, and you can never count the Titans, Tannehill played good against us.
We talked about it. They're the number 1, number 2 seed in the AFC this past 2-3 years.
Yeah, and then you got Derrick Henry, so you can never count that Tennessee team out. So it's not a must-win, it's not a game where the Raiders go into. The Raiders have to win this game. The Raiders are way better than them on paper and stuff like that. And then obviously you got the Broncos, who were better than the Broncos, and we're supposed to beat them, and we did. and then you got the Chiefs. Put up a great fight, came up short. That one hurts still.
Yeah.
But this game against the Texans, we're better than them. We need to beat them. Can we beat the teams that we're supposed to beat? That's the real question, and we're going to get a good glimpse of it after the bye week.
Yeah, and I think you go out here, you handle business in the way, and if the way we handle business is we win by a couple possessions and really look good, then that you're relieved a little bit, and you're not really that stressed going into these next 5 games of the ones that we're just supposed to win against these struggling teams. But if we struggle against these guys and get the win, but barely get the win, then you could still be a little bit stressed, still have that worry like we just barely survived against these guys. I'm looking to go out here, dominate all 4 quarters, and really show this whole league that, hey, we're here, we're for reals, and these next 5 games are winnable, doable games, and this is the way we're going to take care of these games now.
And we would really feel good about a win like that because there's a lot of elite teams that are even losing matchups like this. Chiefs lost to the Colts while they were really, really struggling.
Chargers pulled away late from the Texans. From these Texans.
Yeah, Chargers pulled away late from the Texans. Got lucky. Chargers got lucky against the Browns.
Yeah.
And also got lucky against the Broncos. There's pretty good teams that are supposed to be top teams in the league that are losing the games they're supposed to win. And if the Raiders can win the games they're supposed to win, then I think it'll set up for, a good record at the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's why we circled these 6 games right here in the middle of the season, and I'm just glad off the bye. It starts Sunday, and I'm just ready to watch some Raider football.
Let's talk about the Raider offense a little bit. You got Derek Carr, who's just getting progressively better and better each week. I'll be the first one to say that I thought he struggled in the first 3 football games. I would say he struggled, and the 4th football game I thought he played really good. Or I thought he played really solid. Did enough to win the game.
Yeah.
Did his job. And in the 5th game, he did outstanding against the Chiefs. He made some of the better throws I've ever seen in his career. And he's just getting better and better each week. You can tell he's getting more comfortable in the offense. Let's see how comfortable DC looks in this game, coming off of bye 6 games into this offense. Or 5 games into this offense, going to the 6th game.
Yeah, and this isn't something that a defense we should really be worried about. Hey, they don't got a big star on that side of the.
These are some of the teams that DC tends to struggle with.
Yeah,
the teams that don't have a good defense because DC does great against top defenses all the time.
I seriously think he's a Bronco killer.
Yeah, but then when we play a team like this has a low-rated defense, then we tend to struggle on the offensive end of the ball.
Yeah, it seems like just like everybody plays at their level.
Yeah,
he's our quarterback, he's our leader. But it just seems like everybody tends to play down to their level.
Yes.
I think last year the Bear game, we didn't have the show yet, but we talked about it and we're like, hey, the exact same thing. Bears are struggling, rookie quarterback, this and that. We all know how that played out.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this isn't it. Hopefully we come out after the bye. I think these last 5 years after the bye, we're 0-5 with the average margin of defeat by like 17, 18 points. Let's turn this whole thing around and get a win, hopefully in a good fashion, and really be happy on Sunday, because we haven't been happy on a Sunday in a while.
Talked about Derek Carr a little bit. Let's go on to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams getting him more involved in the offense after the first 3 games where, the first game against the Chargers really targeted him a lot. Second game, third game, not a lot of targets to him. And it seemed like in the 4th and 5th game, Carr, giving him the ball, looking for him, and he's making things happen. Both of those guys are making things happen.
And you know what, too? And I think you can look at the Charger game and the Bronco game. A lot of targets, had 100-yard games. I know he didn't have a touchdown in the Bronco game, but 100-yard game. And then you come to here, he had 2 touchdowns. To the Chief game, 3 catches with 2 touchdowns, 100-something yards. And I was hearing Carr talk a little bit. That was hey, we're going to force him the ball. Double covered. He's going to beat his guy, and I'm going to just throw it up there, and he's going to go get it.
He's a superstar.
Yes, and that's and I think that's what you got to do a little. Yeah, that's what you got to do a little bit. Force him the ball. He's a superstar talent. He's going to sit there. You can't throw that ball to a Renfro. You can't throw that ball to maybe even Matt Collins or anybody. But we've got a number 1 wide receiver that you can do that with. And hey, if it's there, go take the shot. It's going to be there
50-50
times
balls with Devontae Adams is like an 80-20 ball to Devontae.
Yeah.
So you give him the ball, you can force him the ball. And I'm fine with it. I'd rather force him the ball than not give him the ball, not enough, and then go. We lose the game, and we're sitting here saying Carr didn't give Devontae the ball enough. Force him the ball, and he's done it the last 2 games. I thought we played really good on the offensive side of the ball the last 2 games, and now let's go to Josh Jacobs. I mean, what can we say? We can't say enough about this guy. He's come far since his rookie year. His rookie year, he had a great year, struggled for a little bit last season, rejuvenated. I would say rejuvenated his career maybe a little bit at the end of the year.
Played very
well when it mattered, but he's playing his best football right now. He looks like an animal, looks like a beast. He's a top 3 runner. How do you feel like he's going to do in this football game?
Yeah, I think, you look at how many yards they give up rushing. This could be an easy day for him also, and he can have another 100-yard game with a couple touchdowns. He's running with a purpose. He's running violently, and it still amazes me that after he's had his bye still early in the season, he's still a top 3 rusher, by a good little margin. The way he's doing things is unbelievable. We said it, and we called it the first 3 weeks. And I said, don't look at his stats. Just look at his feet. Look at the way he's moving. Look just the way he's running. And that really showed up in the Bronco game. That really showed up in the Chief game. And now he's got the stats and everything to prove that he's a real top rusher in this league. Hey, he's going to keep on going forward with it. And I think we're looking at a Pro Bowl running back. Hopefully maybe even an All-Pro running back. That's the way. That's how good he's running. And I'm proud of him, and I hope we lock him down. I want him to be a Raider now for quite a while.
Now let's go on to this Raider defense, who's shown signs of being really good, signs of being not good at all. But we'll start with Max Crosby. He's been an animal all year long. He's our superstar, our MVP. He's our guy. Yeah. He's the number 1 player every week on our rankings.
Yeah, and he's the number 1 player on our rankings, and I think right now, you put his stats up with everybody else, and remember, we did have the bye. He's still Defensive Player of the Year in my book. The tackles for losses is crazy. If he keeps up the way he's going, the pace he's going, he's going to set a record for tackles for loss in a season. He's on pace for 20.5 sacks this season, and that's amazing. And what he's doing, and and even not even rushing the passer, what he's doing to even running backs a little bit, getting there so quick and tackling for losses. And this guy is special. And I always say I love a good surprise. I love that this was a 4th rounder. I love that he had to compete and fight for his spot. And right off the bat, I think he breaks his hand right off the bat in Oakland his first year, and comes back, battles back, and we got a superstar in our hands.
Yeah, Max Crosby, I think, is gonna have a big game against the Texans. They don't have a great defensive line. They don't have a great team overall.
Yeah,
and Max
he can eat it up.
An elite talent, and I think he can be a guy that gets 3 sacks in this game and kind of goes off and separates himself in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings.
Yeah, his rookie year, he went up against the Bengals. That time, Bengals had a terrible offensive line. They still do, but terrible offensive line. He had 5 sacks that game. And really, that was his game. That was his coming out game. He really made his mark. I could see something like that happening again.
Yeah, I think that could be a big day for Mad Max. Now let's talk about Denzel Perryman. He's been great all year long also, and I think this could be another big game for him. In the run game, in the pass game, he's been good all around. And Mills is not a great quarterback. He's a quarterback that tends to make mistakes. Could be a big day for Denzel Perryman.
Yeah.
With big hits, because I've seen the Texans, and they run some slants where, you're putting guys in danger. You're putting guys in fumble opportunities for a linebacker like Denzel Perryman. So I think Denzel Perryman could have a big day.
Yeah. I can't say enough about this guy. We traded for him. What are we doing? I thought our linebacker room was good. Last year had a completely great year. We've seen him in glimpses this year, but he's improved. He looks better. He looks great. And really leader on this defense. And he's a really good linebacker. And I think he's gonna have a great season going forward. And it's great to know that he's great, and he's even a little bit better in all systems, not just that Gus Bradley system. Now he's in Patrick Graham's system, he still looks good. He still looks better. And that was one thing I was worried about coming in this season, and not disappointed.
Rocky is saying I think he's going to have a big game also against the Texans. He's been playing. It seems like he get better and better every week. Obviously, he got hurt in one of those games and had to miss a game or two. But game, but he's come back and he's been really good. He's showing to be elite a little bit. In that Chief game, not a lot of targets toward him. And Hobbs got beat up a little bit. Obviously broken hand, but hopefully he comes back strong, Hobbs. But I mean, Rocky Sands looking like an elite corner. And we were talking about this when we first got him. We think this guy can be elite. We think this guy can be really good, and he's showing up.
And I think an advanced stat came out today of just the shutdown rate, and he's up there top five. What he's doing is unbelievable. Is amazing. He's got to keep it going with Hobbs being out for 4 weeks. I know we get Averett back, I think, this week, but just keep it going. That cornerback room is diminishing just a little bit. Hobbs is a big loss for 4 weeks, but the way he's playing, hopefully he steps in that role and doesn't skip a beat.
Yeah, here we go. Let's talk about this Raider-Texan game a little bit more. Offensive and defensive player of the game for the Las Vegas Raiders in this one.
Offensive, I'm going DC. I think he's going to have a 300-yard game. I say a 3-touchdown, 4-touchdown game. I think he's going to get out of that 1-2 touchdown kind of range. This was tossed up between him and Jacobs, but I think this is his coming out party, and hey, this is going to be.
I'm comfortable in this offense.
I'm comfortable in this offense. I'm going to spread the ball around, and I'm going to throw all over these guys, and we're going to be up big, and and really do this thing. I think DC's going to have a hell of a game.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that pick. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I think he's been carrying us all year long. I think he's a guy that can carry the Raider offense on his back alone, and I think he's going to be no exception in this game. I think he's going to carry us. I think he's going to have some big runs in this game, and I think he's going to have another 100-yard game. I got Josh Jacobs.
And you know what? I'm going to be very honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if your guy has a couple touchdowns, my guy has 2 or 3 touchdowns, and this is just a big point parade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that also. Defensive player of the game for the Raiders.
Max Crosby? I wanted to, do something, like, hey, maybe Abram because of the trade talk, Perryman, this is really going to be his first full healthy game, coming back this season, whatever, but you can't go wrong with Max. Max has, had a sack in almost every game this year. He has at least 2 tackles for losses. What he's doing is amazing. I'm picking Max until somebody else can step up and really have an eye-opening game. Max Crosby for me.
So let's talk a little bit. If you're a Raven fan, I know this is if you're a Raven fan in the early 2000s or whatever, and you were on a show like ours, who do you pick as defensive player of the year? Defensive player of the game every single game. You're picking Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
you're picking Ray Lewis. And that's the impact that Max Crosby has on this football team. That's the kind of player he is. He's a game changer. And so I'm picking Max Crosby also, but it's because what he's doing. If he's going crazy right now,
and he's the only one on the defensive player of the year list, and the sack totals that really doesn't have help. Khalil has Joey Bosa. That Cowboy defense with Michael Parsons, and they have help. Judon with the Patriots, they have help on that side of the ball. There's a couple more. They have help. It seems like Max Crosby's doing this on his own. That's what makes it more impressive. There was a stat about him. He's on pace for 20.5 sacks. The other defensive ends are on pace for I think 7 for the rest of the year. And the defensive tackles have are on pace for 0. It's crazy. It's amazing. This defense is led and carried by Max Crosby, and this is his defense, and he's gonna be a bully.
Yeah, for sure. Max Crosby, our defensive player of the games. Now let's go to our keys to the game. Nick, what's your first key to the game?
I think just start fast and just keep it going. Keep the gas pedal going. Don't play conservative. Don't do anything. I'm thinking we're going to get up big and just let's keep on going. Run down their throat once we're up big with Josh Jacobs, and really just keep this thing with as far as possible from us. And hopefully it's a 2-3 possession game. I really want this game, and I really want it to win big. Yeah,
coming off this bye, I'm going to have kind of different keys to the game, and my first one's comfort in the offense. In place, everyone running the right route that they're supposed to run. Carr getting to the line fast enough, and no more delay of games. We've had tons of delay of games. Coaching fixes. Let's fix those things. And let's feel more comfortable in this offense.
That's a really good one. I think us too. Let's get some turnovers. I want and this keeps on going because I just want to score. I think this game I want the ball as much as possible, and I just want to score. Get some turnovers, get the ball over to DC and company to let them score some more. This is something that we could have got some turnovers in these games that we lost. In that Chief game, a turnover or two would have been nice. I want the ball more, and let's get some turnovers and win the turnover battle.
My second key to the game is limited penalties. We've had a lot of penalties that have cost us some games so far this year in the first 5 games. In preseason, we look so good, penalty-free for most of the games and not letting it cost a preseason game. It's a preseason game. I get it. But we can't let penalties cost us games anymore. I want to see limited penalties come off this bye. I want to see that the coaches made improvements for these to help these players and to help this team win.
Yeah, and I think the last one is let's get out of here healthy. We're losing too many guys. Waller is looks like a no-go. Renfro didn't even practice today because of his hip. That was a real surprise. Moreau's back with his knee or whatever. Let's get out of this healthy. We got 12 straight games and possibly even more if we want to be where we want to be at the end of the season. Let's get this thing healthy and let's play smart, not play too reckless, and just come out of here healthy.
My last key of the game, similar to your first one, let's get a lead. And let's step on the gas pedal early. Let's not let them have a chance to climb back in this football game. Let's score first. Let's get the lead, and let's just keep going and going and going until the clock hits 0.
Yeah,
all zeros all around because it's an NFL game and anything can happen. So let's just step on our throat. Let's not take them lightly. I know on the show it sounds like we are taking them lightly, and we are sounding like it should be a light game.
We learned because at halftime of that Cardinal game, we were talking much crap, and then they came back after 3 possessions. But
Raiders cannot take them lightly.
No.
So get a lead and step on their throat early in this football game and keep pushing for 4 quarters until the clock hits 0. That's my last key.
Yeah, the way we're predicting it, and the way we want to be, this is going to be a historic run from now until the end of the season. It starts Sunday. Play good. You're going to have Anthony Aber back, maybe even DJ Turner. You might not have Waller. I don't know about Renfro yet as we speak. Let's come out here. Let's play good. We got a whole season ahead of us. Nothing's lost yet. We're not too far behind from anybody. Let's go out here. Let's stack up as many wins as possible. It starts Sunday.
Here we go. Raiders versus Texans score predictions. Nick, what's your score prediction?
I have us winning 35-20. And I think
You almost took mine.
I wanted to put us in the 40s, but we haven't even scored 30 yet in the season.
Scored 31.
We have. Yeah. No, it was 29.
Oh, 29.
Oh, we did.
We got
Denver,
30.
32.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're right. But anyway, I think we're going to show how powered we are. And this offense is going to be amazing. Defense get a couple turnovers, really stop them, and we win big. I
got 35-17 Raiders win. I think we're going to see a lot of good things on both sides of the ball in this football game. And coming off this bye, we're fresh, rejuvenated a little bit. And I think Josh McDaniels, who I think has struggled also in these first 5 games along with the players and along with everybody, I think he's going to make improvements to this team. I think we're going to see him coming out of this bye. And I think this is a huge game. And executing the improvements that we're trying to make, then this team will be feeling good going to the game, and we can get in a rhythm in this offensive system and the defensive system for Patrick Graham.
Yeah, there's no more excuses. You've been through 5 games already with this Josh McDaniels system, with this Patrick Graham system on defense. Everybody knows what they got to do. We are 1-4. We're in desperate need of a win. Go out there, do your job. No more excuses. We need to start winning some ball games.
Yep. Man, this is going to be a big one. Raiders versus Texans coming up. We'll see you guys next time, and go Raiders.
Go Raiders.